यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य
ओम ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंशर्षभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः सर्वोपप्लवरहित प्रज्ञान घन प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्माहमस्मि सोहमस्मि ब्रह्माहमस्मि। ओम प्रपन्न पारिजाताय तोत्र वेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। May the Almighty Shri Lord Venkateshwara bestow all kinds of prosperity, health, wealth and eternal happiness with Paripurna Lakshmi Katakshams to you and the entire your family and friends. Let us begin Bhagavad Gita, verse number 22 of 13th chapter. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha उपद्रष्टानुमन्ता च भर्ता भोक्ता महेश्वरः परमात्मेति चाप्युक्तः देहेऽस्मिन् पुरुषः परः. Bhagavan Krishna is establishing equation between Jiva and Paramatma. Jivatma and Paramatma. Jivatma means the individual consciousness which is endowed with body, mind and sense complex. Paramatma means which is endowed with upadhi calls pancha bhautika jagat prapanchaha. That's what in the previous words, the combination of prakriti and purushaha, matter and consciousness, the combination of kshetram and kshetrajnaha, avidya and individual consciousness. So both together combined by Bhagavan Krishna, this is very important part. We should not forget the first 6 chapter which deals about Kshetram and Kshetrajnam alone in very elaborated manner. We learned there what exactly the Kshetram is. But again in 13th chapter, Bhagavan says, Idam Shariram Kshetram Ityabhidhiyate. This body is known as Kshetram. The knower of this body, Sharira, is called Kshetrajnaha. Now that Kshetrajnaha is understood when we study 6 chapters, means Prathama Shatkam, in the first 6 chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Then the next 6 chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the content is nothing but Prakriti and Purusha. Okay? That Prakriti and Purusha. Prakriti means that which is in the form of Jagat, matter principle, in which we can find 3 gunas, in which we can find 3 karyam. What is that? Srishti, Sthiti, Layam. Srishti means creation, Sthiti means sustentation, Layam means resolution. These 3 kinds of modifications we can see in matter principle or in the matter principle. This matter principle has got one more principle which is known as consciousness principle. Because the consciousness principle is not visible, that is invisible. That consciousness principle alone, cause of the matter principle, that's what the teaching is. So when we studied the second Shatkam from the chapter number 7 to 12, we learnt what exactly the Purusha Tattvam, what exactly the Prakriti Tattvam is. So finally in this 13th chapter we are combining. This is what combined study. The combining means what? It's a kind of equation. That equation between not matter and individual matter called Sharira. The equation between 2 consciousness. That's what, when Vedanta is understood properly, The world has got one consciousness principle. That one consciousness principle alone is experienced by every individual sharira, in every individual sharira, as their own self. Every sharira, it thinks, this is me, this is myself. I do have my own consciousness principle, you do have your own conscious principle, but even all the creatures which are born in this planet Earth, they do have their own conscious principle. That consciousness principle or conscious principle, both are same, there is not much difference, but consciousness principle is a proper word we have to use. But it is not that much expressive with the stones, mountains, and other dead materials. But they do have also consciousness principle. Okay, that's what in these words upadrashta. Now that total collective consciousness principle is understood as an individual consciousness principle. Or we can say in other way, this individual consciousness principle and the collective consciousness principle have been taken, or we are able to keep the identical understanding. That's what we call it equation. Both are identical, both are one and the same. But because of my body, which is limited, I get that limitation, the experience of limitation. Now, upadrashta means what? Till arriving at the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, we were thinking my consciousness is separate consciousness, the collective consciousness is very separate. Now, when it is said upadrashta means now my consciousness alone, the consciousness of Ishvara. So now upadrashta, now Ishvara is very close to me, very, very close. I cannot escape from the sight of Ishvara. That's what the understanding is. Ishvara is where? Ishvara is in everybody. When we realize this, we will get some kind of jerk in our mind. Even buddhi will be shaken a little bit. God is no outside. There is no outside inside. That's what's said, in the last two verses. It clearly says, Bahirantascha bhutanam acharam charam evacha. There is no outside, there is no inside. That's my superimposition. This we can deal with a small example. You take 10 small mirrors. Okay. You have to take them to your terrace and place on the terrace. At 12 noon, when you see the mirrors, you can see there are 10 suns, including that sun which is on the top of your head, it becomes 11 suns. If I ask you how many suns are there, my dear, then immediately you will be saying, one sun, 10 reflections of sun. Then I will ask you, how can you say this is the reflection? Can't you say there are 11 suns? No, sir. So the original sun is on the top or in the sky. So these are all the reflections, So the reflections are not real sun, but this is not other than sun. Okay. So now this mirror, which is known as medium, you just remove the medium or you keep upside down, the sun is not seen, the reflection of sun is not seen. It means reflected sun is not seen there. Now my question, where this reflected sun goes? If you say, so that reflected sun, it went to the original sun, it means you are wrong. Because it never came. The reflection, when it was there, at that time also, sun was not doing anything. So automatically, because of the speciality of the mirror, this sun was reflected. The sun rays are all pervasive. When there is a medium, the reflections are taking place. Like that, this medium is called body. This is our mirror because mind and buddhi is like a reflecting medium. In that reflecting medium, the reflection of original Brahman, which is in the form of consciousness, is reflected. That is what is known as Chidabhasaha. Now that Chidabhasaha is nothing but the reflected consciousness. That's what we have to understand. That reflected consciousness also can illumine the dark room. Okay, it has the capacity to illumine, to enlighten a dark room into, it can convert a dark room into a light room, the room which is filled with light. It doesn't mean that it has got its own individuality. No, not at all. The sun light alone, the original light. But this light, it says that I am original. No, you are Chidabhasaha. Now, original sun rays is known as Upadrashta and Anumanta. Anumanta means, so when this reflected light is lightening all the rooms and material of the things, object of the rooms, that mirror doesn't have the capacity, but the light alone does the job. That's what Anumanta. With the permissions of that Brahman alone, everything is enlightened. I could see my thoughts, I could see you, I could understand the material of the world. Everything is lightened by that original consciousness. Now the consciousness which is experienced in the limited way is nothing but the consciousness which is known as collective consciousness. So that consciousness alone sustains us, because the consciousness is the Karana Vastu, and that alone Maheshwaraha, therefore it is known as Ishwaraha. So these words, other words we have understood. Asmin Dehe, in this body, so who is experienced as in the form of Kshetrajnaha, he is nothing but Paramaha Purushaha, that Ishvara alone. Now Ishvara and me are one and the same. That's all. Vedanta is completed. And that limitation is like a reflection. The reflection of sun is limited by the barrier of the mirror. Or you can say one more thing, you can take a pot of water or a bowl of water, you can place on the terrace, then there also you can see the reflection in the water. You boil the water, and water is boiling, the sun, so which is reflecting, it won't suffer. Okay, the sun won't say that I am not able to bear the heat, because it's a reflection. Like that, the characteristic and any impact or any kinds of modifications of body won't affect the original swarupa of my consciousness. That's what is understood by these words. Now the consciousness is not affected by the dharma, the characteristic, the nature of the matter consciousness. In the same way, the world also, world is combination of both, means consciousness principle, matter principle. My body is also combination of both consciousness principle and matter principles. So matter, so both matters, means the world and my sharira are divided because of my ajnana. There is no division had happened. The conscious principle, both conscious principle, means collective consciousness and individual consciousness, both are one and the same. So one who realizes this, what kind of benefit he will achieve? It's not very simple. There are so many methods to establish this knowledge. But Bhagavan goes a little bit fast, and we do also have less time. Within an half an hour, it's very difficult to bring any kind of that logical approachment. So we have to go in simple way. This is enough what we have seen. So we cannot dig more into the bhashyam. So the Bhashyam, it analyzes very deeply. For example, Anumanta word is analyzed by 1 page of Bhashya. Anumodanam anumananam kurvatsu tatkriyasu paritoshaha tatkarta anumanta cha athava anumanta karyakarana pravartyusha swayam apravrittaha api pravartta iva tad anukulo vibhavyate tena anumanta. Being in the form of individual consciousness, he does all the job. Like reflected sun being in the mirror enlightens all the object of the room, means which was kept in the darkness. Like that, every word has got abundance of meaning. So all those meanings we have seen like a bird eye view. This is enough. Now this verse talks about prayojana, the benefit of understanding this equation. Now let us read it. Yayevam veti purusham prakritincha gunais saha sarvatha vartamanopi nasa bhuyo bhijayate. The person who realizes the equation between Purusha and Kshetrajna, and one who realizes Purushaha with the modification of Prakriti Tattvam. So whatever he may do, but he won't be affected by any karma phala. He may get into action, he may perform many varieties of actions, but he won't be affected by karma phalas. That's all the conclusions. Bhuyaha na abhijayate. Even he is not going to be born again. His all karma phala will perish. Now the meaning is what? The Purusham must be realized. That Purusham is realized with characteristic of Prakriti Tattvam. Now Purusha alone is playing everything, but Purusha is unaffected by, because the original sun is not at all affected by the reflected suns. Now you can ask the questions, So when the sun is reflecting, that reflection, in order to give the reflections, the sun is making effort or what? It never makes any effort. Like that, the consciousness principle, it remains as it unaffected, asangaha, without any attachment, without any effort to get reflect into the body. It remains as Ishvaraha. But every function happens only because of its presence. Now the reflection, the presence of reflection, everything is lightened. So like that, so this equation is to be understood in this way. When we realize, we can have the relief, we can feel the relaxedness. After that, we can also get rid ourselves from samsara, means bondage. That's all. Big topic is completed. So now finally, for our convenience, I'll give a small recap. Okay, this equation between collective consciousness and individual consciousness. The collective consciousness alone exists in the form of individual consciousness. When we realize this, this is what is known as equation. Okay? How to equate it? You need not to equate it, just to realize my consciousness alone is nothing but Ishvaratvam, collective consciousness. So once we realize, though we continue with the individuality, but we won't be affected by this individuality. That's all. We'll go to next verse. Dhyanen atmani pashyanti kechidatmanam atmana anye sankhena yogena karma yogena chapare. So this is what is said as Atma Vidya, Brahma Vidya. So equation, somehow it is completed. But Upanishad brings so many logical approachment. It brings a new method to establish this. There is one Lakshana, Jaga Jagal Lakshana. Jagad Lakshana, Ajagad Lakshana, Jaga Jagad Lakshana. All those things I am not bringing here. So those things, we can bring if we are having one-to-one class. But there are approaches, very logical and proved approaches. Then the brain will be tuned like anything. Just we will surrender to Lord Venkateshwara. This much is enough. Lord Venkateshwara is the collective consciousness. So He is existing in me, in you, in everybody as their individual consciousness. Now the people who understand this reality, those people are known as Jnanis. Then Lord Venkateshwara will bless being in their sharira. Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. I am the kshetrajna in all the shariras. Bhagavan had told already, we should not forget it. Now in these words, Bhagavan gives some details about the paths. Means there are so many upayas said in the Shastra. Because this Vedanta has established in highest way that marga is known as Shravana Manana Nididhyasanam. Shravana is the only way. Shravana means sitting in front of Guru and we have to learn. But there are other people who say, you can just meditate. So by meditation, you can just understand the Ishvara. You can just get the equation. No, it is not at all possible. Kechit, few people or some people, dhyanena atmani pashyanti. In this verse, Bhagavan introduces the next step. Once we realize the Ishvara alone existing in the form of my consciousness, and immediately fruit has to be there. What is the fruit? You have to see yourself away from all suffering. Do we see it like that? No. If you are able to understand it, that's good, perfect. Your Vedanta lesson is completed. So you are called a Jnani. So you need not to study hereafter. Just you live your life in that nishtha. Our condition is, what? I have understood, ho sakta hai. There is a possibility. But we are not able to understand, we are not able to recognize the benefits. Still the suffering is happening in me. For you, nididhyasanam is required. The dhyanam after attaining the knowledge is known as nididhyasanam. So with all knowledge which is received from Shastra, you can just sit in a place and meditate with the help of that words of Shastra. Shabdana Viddha Savikalpa Samadhi. These technical terms are explained in one text. That text is called Drig Drishya Viveka. So after completion of the lesson, means the Vedanta Patha, still you have to work. Means that assimilation is remaining. Therefore, dhyanena atmani pashyanti. Kechit atmanam atmana atmani dhyanena pashyanti. Some people, they are able to find or identify with the self-effort after attaining the knowledge. Okay. Anye sankhena yogena karma yogena chapari. So that Bhagavan brings as one more upaya that we will continue, and that we will see how Bhagavan brings with the compassion, because still after giving the knowledge also, Bhagavan says if you are not able to understand, you stick with karma yoga, you stick with jnana yoga, keep making effort. But after, if you are very matured, you have learnt, without any doubt, just you can sit for nididhyasana. You need not to study any shastra of Vedanta. This Bhagavad Gita itself is enough, but it is impossible because so if we are not taught other information of the world, of course it might have been possible to understand with one shot. Now we need to have more doses, because after even listening to this 13th chapter, so it seems to be something is possible, so the Vedanta says, so the real thing, but I'm not able to understand. In that case, Vedanta suggests you to go for nididhyasanam, or you to continue with the sadhana again, keep studying. After Gita, we have to study what? Upanishads, one by one. There are 11 Upanishads. Then Brahma Sutra. Again, Brahma Sutra helps us to dig more the Upanishads. By the time, definitely all doubts will be cleared. So you will become a Vedanti. Okay? With Ishvara's anugraha, we will become definitely a complete Vedanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namo Namaha. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.